about to come downhill. About to come downhill fast. Telling you. They don't know what the about to happen. Let's go. It's time, huh?
Welcome to U.S. Bank Stadium, Vikings and Falcons to open 2019.
Let's go get it, baby. Let's go. I can't wait. Hey, let's do it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Let's do
together,
it.
baby.
Let's go.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. Let's go.
And fun. And that's the whole life. Understand me? Let's go.
Let's go. Boy! Oh! You know how I'm coming all game. Hey!
Second down and 10. And this is a third big carry of the game, and this one in the end zone for Dalvin Cook. Oh my.
Hey, Mark Cook, that a baby!
Kirk Cousins on third down and hands it to Dalvin. He goes grinding to the left side. It's a Vikings first down.
That's first down, bro.
Second and goal. Cousins leaps into the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings! Kirk Cousins elevates the score to 20-0. 4:40 to go in the first half.
Hey, when we really find our rhythm, bro, we can be something special, bro.
Takes a low snap. Daniel Hunter's all over him.
Damn, that's love. That's with love. Hey, that's with love. Them motherfuckers kick the dough down. Watch them. All of them kick the dough down. They kick the dough down. That's live, bro.
Hands it to Dalvin, and he grinds up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Dalvin Cook.
What's up, Vikings fans? Welcome back to another edition of Vikings Spin. I'm your host, Jason, and we're going to preview the Vikings matchup with the Chicago Bears on Sunday. That's right, the Vikings taking on the Bears in Chicago, Soldier Field, on Sunday afternoon. Both teams coming to the game with 2-1 records. Each team is coming off a victory last week. The Vikings demolished the Raiders last week, 34-13 at U.S. Bank Stadium, and the Bears beat the Redskins on Monday Night Football decidedly. So let's take a look at the injury reports here before we get into the individual matchups. For the Vikings this week, they will be without starting right guard Josh Klein. So Dakota Dozier will be filling in for him. Cornerback Mackenzie Alexander is listed as questionable, but he's expected to play. He practiced all week, so the Vikings should get some added cornerback depth back this week. They've already had Hughes back now since last week, so having both Hughes and Alexander available in this game is big. The Bears, they have some significant injuries that we'll discuss here. The first one being wide receiver Taylor Gabriel, who is a starter. He is out for this game. He's in concussion protocol. And as well as the Bears are also going to be missing their starting defensive lineman, Bilal Nichols. So that's a blow. They could also be without Akeem Hicks, and that's the biggest one. Hicks did not practice all week for the Bears. Head coach Matt Nagy said that he would be a game-time decision. Hicks is definitely the best player on the Bears' defensive line, and it would be a massive blow for the Bears defense to be without him. Um, the replacement for him, Roy Robertson Harris, is about 50 or 60 pounds lighter than him. They also have a lighter player in Abdullah Anderson that's going to be filling in for Bilal Nichols. So that stout, big Bears defensive line is going to look much smaller if both of them can't play. And then starting right guard Kyle Long is also questionable. He was limited in the first practice of the week and then missed the last two. So that kind of puts his uh, status in doubt. But Hicks and Long are listed as questionable. And they also have Trey Burton and Eddie Pinheiro. Trey Burton, the tight end, and Eddie Pinheiro, the kicker, listed as questionable. But Burton practiced all week. I expect him to play. And Pinheiro kicked through pain last week against the Redskins. I expect him to play, but his distance might be limited because he's still watch as well. They don't have him doing kickoffs. I believe the punter is doing kickoffs. And they're really just trying to use Pinheiro for shorter field goals. He missed a 44-yarder last week on Monday Night Football against the Redskins. After I think he hit like a 37-yarder, missed from 44. So that's something to keep an eye on in this game as well. As far as the matchup goes and the keys to victory for the Vikings, I think in this game, you take a look, the Vikings offensive line against that Bears defensive line, with the injuries to the Bears. Now, if Hicks plays, I don't think he's going to be as effective as if he was 100%. But personally, I don't think he'll play since he didn't practice all week. We already know that Nichols is out, so I think they'll be able to establish the running game against the Vikings. One thing that'll be different than last year, that will be closer to what they were doing in 2017 when they had more success against the Bears running the ball, because the Bears, they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher since 2017 with Latavius Murray. That was the Vikings. So the zone run is a lot of what Pat Shurmur was using, and it's a lot of what Gary Kubiak and Kevin Stefanski use now. And that was the last time that the Bears let up a 100-yard rusher. Last year, the Vikings didn't play a lot of zone runs. They played a lot of gap. Used the football kind of plays. And the Vikings are a lot more committed to the run this year. So that kind of changes what the opponent's pass rush could do as well. Just 20 years back, they have to be concerned with the run. Now, the Vikings move laterally in the blocking scheme, and that is a good way to attack, against a nose tackle like Eddie Goldman with Bradbury and Elflein just moving laterally. That's the way you want to do it against the Bears. So I think they'll be more successful than they were obviously last year when they couldn't run the ball at all. And I think Cook does have a chance, to get 100 yards in this game. This could be the game. The Vikings lead the league in rushing. The Bears are a little thin on the defensive line. Could happen this week. And if I were the Vikings, I would run right at Khalil Mack because his strength is in pursuit as a run defender. So if you're running at him, it's not really pursuit that he's going to be using. He has to try to be stout. He's a pass rusher, he's not a stout run defender. He's a pursuit run defender. So that would play against his strengths, and that's what you want to do if you're the Vikings. I also think the Vikings are going to use a lot of two tight end sets, two running back sets to make sure you seal the edge against Khalil Mack because he's such a special edge defender and he can cause so much havoc. But if you got the bodies on him, and that could even be Rashad Hill playing as a tight end, being whatever you want, a heavy package or getting up into line that lines up on his tight end. Wouldn't be a bad idea in a game like this. You could see some 3 tight end sets too. So I think you'll see plenty of Tyler Conklin, Herb Smith Jr., Kyle Rudolph, CJ Ham, all in this game. doing their part to chip Mac and to do what they need to do to get him blocked up. Because if you can get Dalvin Cook to the second level, that's where he can make guys miss. That's where he can use power as well. He's the total package at running back. I think the Vikings will also want to get him involved in some screens. Offensive balance and play calling will be the key to this game. This is why Gary Kubiak is here with Kevin Stefanski. This is the game. This is the team that the Vikings want to beat and get past to take the next step and reclaim the NFC North. So, splitting with the Bears would be fine. And I think the Vikings can still win the division that way. But man, if they can steal one here at Soldier Field, it would be so huge for this team. I think it would be huge psychologically for this team to be able to win a big game like this. They were able to do it a couple of years ago in Soldier Field. They won a really close game with a Kai Fullback field goal to win there. And I just think it'd be huge. And I think they're built to do it this year. So, let's stay tuned for it and see how that plays out. In the passing game, what the Vikings could look to do is obviously they're going to attack with their stretch zone run. The Bears have a decision to make there. If they sell out too much on the stretch zone, they're going to leave the bootleg open for Kirk Cousins, and that's where he really excels, getting the ball downfield to Adam Thielen or Stephon Diggs, who will probably have some one-on-one matchups in this game, considering the Bears are probably going to bring HaHa Clinton-Dix, their safety, up into the box to help out against the Vikings running game, because they're likely going to be very concerned with that. So if Cousins sees that, if he can, check into the play action pass, that could be huge there too. There could be some openings if the Bears do play a lot of man-to-man defense in the passing game, where if they've got it covered up, Cousins could take off and run. He's been doing a better job of that this year, and he's been able to pick up some first downs and keep some drives going. So doing that would help as well. You could see the tight ends getting involved. Irv Smith could get in a quick game. You could have Kyle Rudolph be a factor in the red zone as well. So as long as the Vikings stay balanced and keep throwing different things to keep the Bears' defense off balance, I think they can have success this week. Defensively, the Bears haven't been running the ball a lot this year. Matt Nagy has elected to forego the running game in favor of the passing game. More so this year, the Bears don't have Jordan Howard at running back, and they're really missing him, if you ask me. They have some talent with this David Montgomery kid, but they're just not using him a lot for whatever reason. Tariq Cohen is still like a scat back, and you use him a lot in the passing game and lateral runs. But the Vikings have the defense to shut down Chicago's running game. And that's really where they want to be. Because now, in this matchup, Chicago might try to run the ball more because they know that the Vikings have a very good pass rush and pass defense. But the Vikings have Linval Joseph and Shamar Stephen up front to clog the middle against Montgomery, and they have the edge defenders and linebackers to stop Cohen laterally. Anthony Barr is back into the lineup this week, so the Vikings get a boost there on defense. That'll be key. The Vikings could also mix up their coverages. The Packers had a lot of success against Chicago when they used a dime package against them in the season opener. They held the Bears to 3 points. Those are ways you can combat Tariq Cohen as well. Because sometimes the Bears like to go empty set. They may use 3 receivers, a tight end, and split Cohen out as a receiver. So the Vikings could counter with a dime package there. I'm sure Mike Zimmer is going to have a lot of different looks for Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky likes to predetermine his reads at the line of scrimmage. He also stares down his receivers at times. So there could be opportunities there for Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris to make plays. I'm sure Zimmer is going to give him some double A gap looks, play a little cat and mouse with him there. Is Harrison Smith coming down? Is he blitzing? Is he faking the blitz and dropping back? And Zimmer is just a master at that. And it's going to be key here in this game. The Vikings have had success in forcing Mitch Trubisky to turn the ball over in the past. I think this week will be no different. I'm predicting that the Vikings will get at least 2 turnovers out of Trubisky this week. So the key to defending Trubisky is to play contain. He's better when he is outside of the pocket in throwing than when he's inside the pocket. So I think they'll want to play contain, keep him in the pocket where he's less effective, and that's where you can force your turnovers or force some bad throws and get off the field. Winning the turnover battle would be huge in this game, and the Vikings limiting their penalties as well would go a long way. But if you can get turnovers out of the Bears in this game, get some short fields for the offense, get off to a fast start, and force the Bears to play catch up in the game, I think you have a great chance of winning it. On special teams, the other things to worry about are the returners. That's the X factor that the Vikings will have to take care of. It'll be important for Dan Bailey to try to keep the ball away from Cordell Patterson. Try to kick it out of the end zone if you can, or angle it if you need to, if you're kicking into that wind. And the same thing with Britton Colquitt against Tariq Cohen on the punt returns. Cohen is a Pro Bowl punt returner, so it'll be important to get a lot of hang time on those punts. And if you can pin the Bears back inside their 20 and make that offense have to go a long field against our defense, I think that'll go a long way towards the victory. So it's going to take all 3 phases in this game, playing complementary football. The Vikings are definitely capable of doing it, and when they do it, they win. So, that's what I'm looking for. Those are my, keys to victory here for this game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section, and don't forget to encourage others to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on Facebook and Twitter. And we'll see you next time. Take care.